Recording in progress.
All right, welcome to our live free monthly webinar for drop zone owners and skydiving businesses. And this month we're talking about ChatGPT, all about how to get ChatGPT to recommend your drop zone. And we'll take a look at how it's recommending drop zones this particular week, because it does seem to shift almost query by query. Was it showing you maps? Is it showing you this? So there's a lot of different interesting things going on. So first off, if you guys have been coming to the webinars or you've seen the content before, you know who I am, and been a longtime skydiver. I got 3 young boys. They're now 7, 5, and 3. So that picture's a little bit dated. Husband, Marine Corps veteran, and I have just a ton of digital marketing experience, going on 16 years plus now, which dates me. But it's a significant amount of experience. I've worked in financial services, insurance, and with attorneys, personal injury attorneys, some of the most competitive marketing niches, and they're investing a lot of money, which means there's a lot of learnings to bring to this industry. So I established Boom Shop Media in March of 2020. We're just going on our second full year of having full-time operations. And obviously we run the free monthly webinar series. You can see that at boomshopmedia.com. But the bottom line, why you should listen, we get our clients more bookings. We're getting them more bookings than they had last year. And so you can see that we have expanded our client portfolio, and the vast majority of our clients are seeing significant improvements year over year, especially those who've been down. I know since COVID, I think 2021 was probably the last good year that was like, hey, that was amazing. So that's one of the reasons why we're here. But ultimately, we've gone from what used to be 10 blue links in Google to now one curated answer inside the LLM. And it's not only happening in ChatGPT, right? We're starting to see the AI overviews being pushed in Google search. And generally, when they start pushing those features, that's a good indication that in a few months, that's going to be the default Google search. And ChatGPT is growing. So just in the last year, the growth from March to 24 to March 25, Google users in the US grew about 0.4%. ChatGPT users grew about 46.8%. So Google's audience is still like 7 times larger than ChatGPT, but they're growing really rapidly, and that represents an opportunity that we can jump in front of to get recommended before competitive experiences out there. But remember, we're not just competing against that drop zone 120 miles away, right? You're competing with the zip line, the whitewater rafting company, any of these curated experiences. I know in Denver we have everything's a curated experience, right? It's like go to the brewery where you throw axes, and I mean, we're in competition for all of these things, right? And so that's why we've developed our Kickstart marketing program, which really represents what we believe is the most effective elements of an optimized digital campaign. It starts with your website, your online calling card, your brand authority, right? Then we start driving traffic. We've got Google, Google Ads, Google Maps, YouTube, and increasingly we've got AI traffic coming to our websites and getting us bookings. From there, we're posting on social media a lot. If we got a ton of user-generated content coming from our business, leverage that. That is free content that you can just use. It's generated. If they sign the waiver, they don't read the waiver, you just throw some terms in there. Like I could just use all your footage, right? It works. Then we're running paid ads on top of that, right? So if there's something wrong with our structure, we need leads right away, we layer in the paid ads. And that's super effective mid-season too, to just jump in front of those other experiences. Ultimately, through this process, we're making customer connections. We're leveraging AI and all this digital media to meet people face to face and then huck them out of an airplane. Sweet. Then we're going to want to ask them for reviews and reputation, right? There's so much work that just goes into that 5-minute moment, for them. We're reaching out for a reputation, right? We're collecting their email and their phone number so we can email and text message them afterwards. And then we're using all that customer data, hopefully, to add in the retargeting layer, right? We've got audiences on people maybe who clicked but didn't book. And we can kind of hype them up and increase their propensity to conversion. There we go, piping in all the audience lists, right? And that's our conversion feedback mechanism. That's all driven by AI these days, that red line, where we're leveraging our customer data to build an AI that's trained on our prospects, right? On our customer profile specific to our business and our location. That is going to be the most powerful thing moving forward into this new AI search and ChatGPT. I don't know if you guys use it as much as we do, but I'm like fixing my camper with it, taking photos, and it's like, would you like me to mark on the photo where you need to? I was like, yes, I know nothing about this. Yes. And so it's pretty, especially with GPT-5 coming out this week, I think it was Friday. It's pretty amazing. So if you're unfamiliar with AI, how the whole answer engine thing works, we're talking about platforms like ChatGPT. Increasingly, Grok is out there, and Perplexity, right? The interesting thing about these is really ChatGPT was trained on internet content like Wikipedia, open source books, and a ton of Reddit. Grok, however, was trained on X and Twitter posts and data. So it's an entirely different beast. And Perplexity is an AI search engine, right? And all these are based on large language models, right? And so the LLM is just basically a computer program, scans massive amounts of data to do natural language processing tasks. And so it's just basically understanding human language, and then it can generate predictive language based on that. That was like GPT 3.0. It was pretty crazy. But there's a ton of data out there to train on. Then we layered in retrieval augmented generation. That's connecting to external data sources, right? So we're giving it the ability to browse the live internet, which it's actually liking recency in some of the content, right? Some new updated new stuff. And you can connect it to your own data source, right? An interesting thing you might do is upload the USPA instructors training manual, and now you have a GPT that will query the manual for any of your queries, right? And you could just sort of ask it things, and you can make sure it's not saying the right stuff, but it's fun. And then we layered in on top of that reinforcement learning from human feedback. So now we're giving the AI model our own evaluation of its results, and then it's getting better based on that. Now, if you're using ChatGPT free, you're doing the human evaluation of results, aren't you? Because that data is being used to train it, the massive model. Now, all of that is being collectively used for like what we're calling the marketing agency world, an answer engine, right? And so you've got these trained LLMs which generate predictive language fragments, and then they're adding in dynamic web crawling and agentic reasoning. And so they're looking back at their own work and sort of evaluating that to generate an answer, right? And so what are we looking at? What are the criteria that large language models and ChatGPT are using to generate those criteria? We're going to dig into that. Really, it's a lot of old school SEO stuff. If you're ranking well in Google, generally you're ranking well in the AI. But if your website is not optimized to be crawled and understood that way, it's just not working. So we're really looking at relevance to the query, clarity of your content, trust signals, right? Reviews and backlinks and traditional SEO stuff, and structured data is becoming absolutely huge. So let's take a look at a query in ChatGPT. I'm sorry for you guys in Florida who are just not popping up here. Where's the best place to go skydiving in Florida? You can see it's generating a massive query. I don't know if you guys can read that on the screen so well. But basically, it says here's some snapshots of top destinations across Florida, a mix to showcase the diverse appeal. And so we're seeing Skydive to Land is coming up first. Whereas traditionally, I think you would see Jump Florida showing up first in like Google Maps. And then it gives you this curated list, right? It goes down to Land, Z Hills, Skydive Sebastian, Miami Skydiving Center. And then further on down the list, it gives you several other options. There's like 10 or 12 out of the 20 drop zones being recommended here. And then it gives you a pro-con chart, choosing the right drop zone for you. It's like your location, and then your goal. What are the standout features? Final take. If you're near Orlando, go with Skydive to Land. That's where we want to be. That is where we want to be in ChatGPT, right? Dreaming of coastal free falls, Skydive Sebastian or Miami, right? Okay, got it. DeLand, Z Hills, Sebastian, Miami. So we're getting 4 drop zones generally recommended at the bottom. Now, we have no idea who's clicking on what. Are they clicking on the sources? Generally, we know if they go to an external website and then book, we can track that. But they don't have like brand measurement tools in ChatGPT yet. A lot of what we're doing is just Googling, we're Googling in ChatGPT. We're GPT. I don't even know what you call a query in ChatGPT. It needs its own verb, honestly. But we're looking at those, with our clients, just looking at it every day and seeing what pops up. And we notice some key differences between what we're calling answer engine optimization versus search engine optimization. So traditional SEO, we're competing for keyword rankings. That's pretty measurable by crawling Google. And we've been doing that for the last 20 years. We optimize now for key phrases, right? We use long tail keywords that we're trying to target for specific blogs or queries, things like that. We're ranking individual pages, and we're focused on getting that organic traffic, hopefully highly relevant organic traffic, right? Whereas answer engine optimization, we're competing to be the answer. Like we just showed you going through a ChatGPT query. Right at the bottom, it's like, here's my final take. And that's the final punchline. If you're not showing up there, you're not necessarily the best answer, right? So now we're optimizing for meaning and structure, and we don't have to worry about our keyword ranking so much because there's natural language processing being used to rank, right? It synthesizes trusted content into its own answer. If you do any other type of queries, you'll see that. And focuses on authority and trust. So if you query your own business in ChatGPT and do it in the free version, if the personal one, if you have the business one, it's going to know a lot about your business if you've been chatting with it. So switch back to your free account and take a look at what it's looking at. It's looking at some old index websites like TripAdvisor, right? Like Yelp. It's focusing on more of that traditional authority and listings and things that we may have been ignoring just for Google, right? Google gives us a flood. So why does this matter now? Well, Google's already changing, right? If you've ever had a recent search, it says, would you like to do this in AI mode? Right? Google is going to shift more towards a ChatGPT search. It's still the bulk of the organic marketing that we do. But they're already starting to prioritize single response answers, right? If you look up, what's the highest skydive in the world? You're not getting a website, you're getting a synthesized answer with a couple clicks, a video that pops up. It's synthesizing the answer, and that's where you want to pop up. Businesses are already losing organic traffic from the AI shift. A lot of our bigger clients who are doing more of that top funnel, what is our sports type of content, losing a lot of that to the AI shift. Studies on a lot of these Inc. 5000 businesses show anywhere from like a 20 to 40% decrease in organic visibility just with the AI overviews. So it is affecting your business, right? And a lot of what we're seeing is, hey, if it feels like, the whole industry's down, maybe you're not just visible, right? You're just not visible where we need to be. So we have developed the B.R.A.I.N framework here for updating our content and optimizing everything for ChatGPT and for future LLMs. And so the first part is the BR, brand representation. So we're deep into brand building with our clients, right? That includes what's your brand sentiment across your local listings, across your local media, across social media, right? It's crawling all of these different things to synthesize that answer. Number two is authority. We're focusing on building our digital authority that backs up our brand, right? And so that's the technical SEO stuff. That's getting our backlinks, working on our listings, everything like that. And then we're looking at INdexibility. So you probably heard that the large language models, AI, it sucks up a lot of energy, right? And so we hypothesize that it's not going to want to crawl. And honestly, in the old context windows, 30,000 words, it can't crawl a whole website, parse through all the code, find the text, pop the text out. And gosh, have you ever tried to get ChatGPT to make a graphic that you had in your head? Imagine trying to understand a whole website, right? So the indexability piece is really the structured data and doing some stuff on the back end that makes it easier for them to crawl, parse, and understand that data. They're going to feature websites that are better structured right off the bat. That's one of those things we could do right away that will get us noticed in ChatGPT. So talk about brand representation. You got to make your brand recognizable, trusted, and relevant to AI engines. Some key components of that is just having a consistent brand identity, right? Across your website, your social media, review sites, your business listings, all your name, if you've ever heard your name, address, phone number, your NAP info across your listings, get that all consistent across everything, right? You want to have a solid brand that's easily identifiable. We're not shifting colors, shifting sites, everything's looking nasty. On top of that, you need semantic clarity. And so any of you who see my emails, you're getting semantic clarity even if you don't open it, right? We're dialing down all the way to the subject line. You're going to see my name and something about marketing in your email inbox. That's exactly what we're talking about. Brand name, service, brand name and service, brand name and something we achieved. And so we want that contextually associated in our niche, our services, and our achievements, right? So getting those mentions across the web is going to be key. Knowledge graph inclusion. So if you guys know what the knowledge graph is on Google search or the featured snippet, that's when you're getting included in, the people also ask, or you're getting the featured snippet pulled out. You want to aim to have rich content that gets pulled by Google to be shown there, because that's what it's going to be pulling into the AI overviews. And that's what we see get pulled out mainly anyways, right? We know that ChatGPT is using both Google and Bing to browse the internet now, and Google Maps if you have maps on your phone. And so we're looking at the patterns in that. We're seeing that rich content. We make an article with an image, a video, a bullet point list, tables, rich content that keeps people on there. It's going to rank well. So aim to rank in the knowledge graph. People also ask section. We'll give you a couple ideas on how to do that here in a sec. Now we're also going to want mentions in authoritative publications. This is so great. Local news. We don't want the local news just making stories about us, if there's a potential accident. We want to actively participate in, hey, if we're doing a state record, let's reach out to the local media, get something cool written about us, right? We have some thought leadership content on, risk. We all talk about risk mitigation, right? That's a stupendous something we could write about that people that's gonna lend us authority. And public relations. So many public relations opportunities generated this year by one woman, one 86-year-old woman. Okay, so if she's doing it across the nation, guys, we could do it too. This article is 1 day old, okay, from Kim Noor's latest jump. I think she's up to like 800 or 900 now, which is awesome. This is generating so much momentum in our sport. Why haven't we reached out and said, hey, Kim, I want to come do a jump at my drop zone, get the media involved? You know what I'm saying? An article like this with a link back is just going to be huge, right? To be associated with such a fun event. And I know we're doing cool events and, the oldest skydive in our state, all the time. So that's what we're talking about. Authority is talking about trust signals that AI engines are relying on, right? And so we're seeing a few key components come out. Backlinks are a big one from a reputable source. The local news station, probably one of the best that you could get. And that all stems from the brand authority that you're building, right? So generating your brand name with being an authority in what you do, right? You also want to have positive sentiment in your reviews and your user-generated content. If we do not have positive sentiment in our reviews, we should probably take a look at our operations and see what we're doing. That's huge, right? Coolest thing I've ever done. 10 out of 10. Boom. If you're reaching out for these reviews, the recency and the frequency of them compared to some of those other drop zones around who are not doing it, you're going to get featured. I guarantee it. We got a client here, let's say drop zone's been around 2 years. We're competing. We're running up about 300 Google reviews in the last 2 years. Top drop zone around here probably has like 670, 680, and they've been around for 40 years. We're going to eclipse them digitally here in like another year and a half. So it's a long-term game, building authority is a long-term game, but we can get there, right? And then once we've got that system in place, we're generating that result. It's going to take them a while to catch up. It's going to take them a long time to catch up. And again, showcase authorship and your expertise, right? Become an expert content creator. Bring the best version of yourself to making some video. A lot of folks have been doing some cool stuff lately. I know Skydive Chicago has been putting out a lot of social media stuff. Who else? Tecumseh. A lot of guys are putting out a lot of really interesting social media stuff, which is great, right? You could throw that up on your website too, where it's more crawlable by these AI engines, and it'll help you get business there. The last piece, indexability. You got to make sure all your content can be discovered, crawled, and parsed efficiently by AI systems. They are not looking to waste dollars on understanding your entire website. That's why ChatGPT tends to hallucinate stuff, because it's leaning towards the more efficient model, right? You have to ask it to be a little higher end now. So you keep that in mind, right? If we organize our technical SEO in a way that we know, okay, Google understands the sitemaps, right? Sitemaps are going to be big. Our headings, right? Our keywords, everything like that. And then underneath that, our schema markup and our structured data, right? Oh, this page is a service, tandem skydiving. We serve these areas. Our hours of operation are this, right? That's all code that just is posted up front. And that's what Google looks at first. Guarantee you that's what the LLMs are going to look for first. And then on top of that, we're layering in just generated text files of the website, sitemap, so all of the pages and headings, and then also the full website content. So it's basically just a text blurb that the LLM can then look at and read that's not full of code. So you can imagine if you go into Google Chrome and you go, oh, view page source, right? Copy all of that page source and then ask ChatGPT to understand all of that stuff. It's not going to give you as good an answer if you just copy the words on the page, right? And it understands the language. So that's something we're doing that we're seeing a pretty big impact from. Content clarity is also another one, right? So layer back in that answer style formatting. The FAQs on the page are going to be big. I know most of us are consolidated into one page we can break and layer that out more. And really align your pages with query intent, right? Take a look at what people are searching in your area. You could use Google Keyword Tool. You could use Ahrefs, SEMrush. They all have free versions. And then, align your pages with particular intent. So you might have a page for a specific audience, right? For birthday tandem skydives. And so that's going to be popping up. Oh, they offer this as a specific thing. For that query, I'm looking to go skydive for my birthday. Where's the best place? Do you see what I'm saying? So you could associate your pages with that. And use natural language. No keyword stuffing, but again, brand, service, brand achievement. Always associate back to your brand. So why does this system work? Again, AI systems prioritize efficiency and content that is easy to scan. They're not going to waste their resources. I think that Sam Altman said that ChatGPT is going to waste millions of dollars a year because people say thank you and it gives you a response back. So you can imagine they're just scrambling to find ways to make that more efficient because that's a massive money burn for them. And that's kind of what we're thinking about, right, as they build those systems. And so we've got some case studies to throw at you, right? Our friends Skydive Colorado Springs trusted the system, and we really view ourselves as growth partners. So they're seeing us, we want to bring their marketing into the 25th century or whenever we're going to be doing that, right? Guys, 30% year-over-year growth. 2024 was their first year in business. And I think we're probably going to hit up that 2,000 tandem number probably next year. And yeah, things are going to be crushing in there. So they went into a spot that kind of had a negative reputation, had a bunch of gift certificates that were not redeemable. And so we had a lot of brand authority to overcome there, right? We proved the ROI with ads first. And then we scaled by investing in their site infrastructure, right? Setting up the website, the mobile site especially, the site user experience, and then layering in that digital authority, building the website and content, and literally just turning everything into full planes for these guys. So another brand rewire, right? Skydive Arizona. I don't know if you guys noticed the old website, Squarespace, no call to action. And so really we designed a new digital brand, right? Which is going to get us featured, complete site redesign with the site restructure, SEO and content, layering in high quality paid traffic, and now the answer engine optimization, right? So we're looking at more of those global searches, right? More of those USA based, like, oh, maybe I'm traveling to the US. Where do I want to go in general to skydive, right? So we can go super broad. But ultimately, turning your digital presence into a scalable booking engine year round. So this is my short sales pitch, because if you're ready to dial it in, book a strategy call, get a free ad audit, get a seasonal prep review for next year. We have limited bandwidth on those, so if you want to sign up, definitely let's talk. But this will point you in the right direction, right? I'm going to dig in to all of our audit tools and just give you a complete rundown, show you where you could use some improvement, show you what's working well. If it makes sense to work together, I'm going to give you my sales pitch, show you what that might look like, and then you're going to get a 30x ROI on what you invest with us mid-season. Sorry, that's the number, 20 to 30 right now. So we'd be happy to show you that in action. Right, some of our growth statistics here. You can see Search Console. Or is it? Here we go. I should show that. We've got a dashboard here for Google Ads. Top 20 keywords. Right. We've got our local heat map presence. We got user experience mapping on the website. A ton of stuff that we do to just optimize your digital presence, from that query, from finding what those queries are that maybe nobody's tracking yet. So all the way dialing it down on your page and your conversion levels, right? And that's what it takes to succeed these days. We need an optimized website. We need to drive high quality traffic to that website. We need to invest where our audiences are spending their time. It's on this thing, right? So the ads and the different ad networks, getting our social going, everything like that. So let me know if you want to see behind the curtain. We'll show exactly how we target everything and convert for our clients. So as always, thank you all for attending. The webinar is going to be live on boomshotmedia.com, and there you can always see the old webinars that we have put up. They're posted, turned into easy to digest blog articles for you. There's a ton of knowledge in there for whatever you're looking at: website conversion, Google Ads, your local SEO. Dig in. We've been doing this for about a year now, and apply it, honestly. Then you'll be too busy to do your marketing. You got to call me up, and it is what it is, right? So totally open for some Q&A. Thanks, Aaron and Kevin, for hanging out the entire time. We had a bunch of signups, but as usual, we get a lot more attention from the replays because we're all busy people, right? I know a lot of us, I know a few folks that got full-time jobs, and then they run the drop zone on the weekend. I get it. It's crazy out there providing for your families. So if you guys have any questions, feel free. That's when I stopped recording.